Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Pureworski, coming to you live from the East Coast. It's the coast with the most, with the co-host with the most, here on The Rundown. 2A Views, conservative news. Craig, guess what day it is?
Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Who's ready? Oh.
So Punch Thursday, bitch.
In the throat.
In the throat. Gotta punch him in the throat.
In the throat.
There you go. There you go. That is the way to live life. Just punched in the throat. Well, maybe not.
Right there.
Maybe. I'd rather not get punched in the throat, but some folks. I mean, he gets punched in the throat every Thursday.
Well, he starts doing that. That guess what day it is, nonsense. And, it's Thursday. Nobody needs to hear that.
No, nobody needs to hear that. The week is almost over. We're trying to get there.
It's a Wednesday at the latest thing. That's it.
How is your day going thus far, my friend?
Did you just call me a dago? Did you just call me a dago?
I did not call you a dago.
Oh, sorry. Okay, weird. I thought I heard you say dago.
I said.
It's weird. Sorry. And everything's going all right here, if that's what you're asking. So
yes, that's what I was asking. How is your day going?
There you go again. It's fine. It's going good. Even
though you are hearing phantom racial slurs, right?
Well, I'm Italian. I hear them. I hear those kind of words.
You just kind of hear those.
So somebody drops. Listen, Craig, if somebody dropped an N-word in on a conversation with you, you'd pick it up, wouldn't you?
If it was in fact the N-word, right? If they were talking,
you said dago. You said dago.
Look, if I said ninja, I would not get upset if someone said ninja. Okay.
You said dago.
How did your day go? Dago.
There we go. See?
Oh, good Lord. Good thing there's no similar. I'm trying to think. Are there any words that could be mistaken for a Polish slur? I can't think of one.
See, the irony is you're not smart enough to know them.
Okay. That is in fact ironic.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That is just the very definition of ironic. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Hey, wanted to remind you guys, there's an event coming up here in a few weeks. In fact, I just bought my plane ticket to fly out to Florida for 2A Freedom Fest. Folks, if you can be in Florida this weekend, the weekend of the 21st, that's right, February 21st, that is, you want to be out in Summerfield, Florida. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be 2A Second Amendment advocates, fighters, freedom fighters from across the country are going to be flying in, and we're going to be talking gun rights. We're going to be talking about how you can be more effective in advocating for your gun rights, and we're holding it in the Gunshine State. There's going to be, folks, I know if you watch it all the time, you already know who I'm going to have up here. We're going to have David Katz. We're going to have James Phillips. We're going to have Craig DeLuz. We're going to have Jared Turner, Amanda Suffolk. We're going to have Patrick Collins, Gina Roberts, Eric Friday, Tom Knighton, Mike Piwowarski. Unfortunately, I don't think Susan's going to make it this year. We're also going to have Tony Simon and Willis Lee. Folks, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a great time. For those of you who can get there early, it's actually a camping event. So if you want to come on out, it's only $55, I believe, for the entire weekend to camp from Friday night all the way to Sunday morning. And I'll tell you, that's a great time because you get a chance to sit, hang out, talk with everybody who's in the fight from across the country. So a lot of fun. Please, if you can be there, you should be there.
This started out a couple of years back, probably 7 or 8 years, maybe even 10 years ago now, as an open carry awareness event, right? You had to be camping to do it because that was one of the very minor provisions in Florida where you could open carry. Well, guess what? Now's the first year you could just open carry there because we have open carry now in Florida.
Bam. Like that.
Yeah. Pistols, by the way, in holsters. Pistols in holsters. Yeah.
Pistols in holsters, not walking around,
Yeah.
flow showing, as I like to say.
So cool. Yeah. Yeah. So good time to be had by all. Yeah, it's a great event.
It's gonna be a fun event. Very mix of cultures, although it's definitely got a southern flavor to it, or a southeastern flavor.
Little cracker flavor to it. Cracker days.
Little cracker. Yeah. So one year I went and we held it at what was the name of that park?
Some state
Rainbow
park there.
Springs.
Yeah, there you go.
Rainbow Springs State Park, and we walk in, and there's this big, huge banner that says, "Welcome to Cracker Weekend." Now you can imagine for a brother from the West Coast, look,
yeah.
Other than like Ritz crackers that you eat, the only other term we had for crackers was it was a derogatory one towards our friends of lighter persuasion, shall we say?
Yeah, listen, Florida, and then throughout the Southeast, Florida, it's a respectful term that harkens back to the cattle days and cattle drives. The cowboys here that drove the cattle were known as crackers because they used to use the whip to keep them moving. Not whipping the cattle, but just the sound of it would keep them moving because they didn't have to shoot; they could use the whips to do it.
Right. So imagine there were two brothers there that camped. There was myself from Richmond, California, and there was
Rick from Detroit.
Rick from Detroit.
Yeah.
Right. And it was, our first time camping in Florida, and needless to say, we show up on Cracker Weekend. The hilarity ensued. Let me just put it that way.
How y'all doing?
Anyway, we had a good time that weekend, which is one of the reasons why I continue to go back.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, let's go ahead and get things started the way we usually get things started, and that is with a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yep. Hitman Industries. That's hitmanindustries.net. Talk to the guys over there today. If you want to get yourself some AR barrels, they've got rifle caliber, pistol caliber, any length you desire for your next AR build or rebarrel your current AR platform. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. If you want the best in concealed tactical holsters on the market, get on over to hogholsters.com. That's HAWG holsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. No spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. And if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, law enforcement, security, fire, EMS, Boy Scout, Girl Scout, sure they got it. Get your group together, get your agency together. Place an order at uscombatgear.com where you can get everything except the gun.
That's right, folks. Please take a moment and visit our sponsors. All you have to do is follow the links in the description to this program. Go there, check them out, spend some money with them, and make sure you tell them it was the guys over at The Rundown that sent you. Also want to encourage you, if you're watching this program live, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, you're watching us live. So go ahead and comment. Let us know, where you're watching us from. Let us know what you think about the program, about the topic, if you got something to chime in. And don't worry if you disagree. We have no problem with you disagreeing with us. All we care is that you're interesting. Best part about you disagreeing is that we know it'll be interesting because that then gives us the opportunity to mock you.
Oh, wow. Is that a mockingbird?
Man, is that a mockingbird? Is that a mockingbird?
And listen, half of us promise to mock you without a racial slur. So there you go.
Yeah, that half would be me.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, well, I'm not the Southern cracker, okay?
He who starts the program with racial slurs. It's all right.
I just asked you how your day went, or how your day is going.
Yeah, there you go. Day going. If I had said, "How's your N-wording?" What would you have said?
I only keep doing it because you keep making it funny. Yeah, I have a very low bar for what I consider to be both funny and appropriate.
There you go.
All right, so let's talk about inappropriate. George Soros is funding an organization that is basically designed to go after and hunt down. He's launching a group that specifically, and I'm going to quote it directly from the article over at the Washington Free Beacon, Soros-backed DAs launch group to prosecute federal immigration agents, quote, hunt you down the way they hunted down Nazis. Wow. Okay. Says here a coalition of left-wing district attorneys, largely funded by billionaire George Soros, launched an initiative to prosecute federal immigration agents in their jurisdictions, setting the stage for a potential showdown between the Trump administration with the Trump administration. Many of those same prosecutors oppose mandatory minimum prison sentences for violent crimes and have released murderers back on the streets. The Project for the Fight Against Federal Overreach, or FAFO as they like to call it, led by Philadelphia District Attorney Larry Krasner and Minneapolis District Attorney Mary Moriarty, and launched on Wednesday, calls itself, quote, an effort to hold federal officials accountable when they exceed their lawful authority. The 9-member coalition plans to convene next month to share strategies for pushing back against the lawless actions of federal forces in states and cities around the country. Under the Supremacy Clause of the Constitution, federal agents are generally immune from state prosecution for acts carried out within the scope of their official duties. Nearly all of the coalition members have received significant campaign donation from Soros as a part of the 95-year-old mega donor's support for the criminal justice reform movement, according to Washington Free Beacon Review. Soros, through his Justice and Public Safety PAC, contributed $1.7 million to Krasner's inaugural campaign in 2017, according to reports. The PAC contributed $627,000 to elect Fairfax, Virginia prosecutor Steve Dascano, according to the Senate Judiciary Committee report, and more than $200,000 on behalf of Arlington, Virginia prosecutor Parissa Deganani or whatever, Tafty, according to the campaign. And there's several others here that they list. But dude, do you really think this? I mean, this is pretty bold to come out and literally to be quoted saying, we're going to hunt you down like they hunted down Nazis.
Yes, that's horrible. That's horrible. And then right about then, for those that are at home listening, that's when, as Craig shows the article, there's a video of Sydney Sweeney releasing her new lingerie line. And I kind of got lost in the middle of the article watching the video. But that first sentence or two I did catch, and that seems horrible, Craig. That's absolutely horrible. Yeah.
Mike, you're retarded. I got no other way to put it. You are mentally irregular. How about that?
How could you pop Sydney Sweeney lingerie line in the middle of that and not expect half of us to go?
Because I wasn't looking at the pictures. I was reading.
Well, you missed it.
Anyway. Hey, another shout out to
American Soros bad. Soros bad. Yeah. Soros bad.
Soros bad. But I mean, no, but here's the thing. How can you say that you are not creating a permission structure that is increasing the likelihood of violence against federal agents when the prosecutors, the ones responsible for enforcing the law, say that you're going to hunt down law enforcement agents like they are Nazis?
Yeah, and listen, I think this is going to come down to, I would think back to folks, the Civil War, the American Civil War. Now, I don't think we're anywhere near that, but the authority exists under the Constitution under the Supremacy Clause for the federal government. They get to say, hey, you know what? That's not a states' rights issue. That's clearly being enveloped by the feds. And if you want to go against not only the federal law, but your own state law, about trying to arrest law enforcement officers for doing their job because you've got some illegal sanctuary status, by the way, you know what? We're not only going to send ICE down, we're going to send the marshals down to arrest your politicians and your lawmakers. That's just that's what they're looking for. And that's what they want. They want that confrontation. And Greg, we're not going to see a civil war. This is never ever going to develop into a civil war or anything like that. I don't have any problem going down and sweeping clearinghouse of arresting these people and putting them in jail. Hey, you know what? You want to be an ass clown? You could sit in here, deal with it. We'll go ahead and appoint other people.
Well, yeah, I mean, I really do believe once again what they're talking about is literally insurrection.
Yes.
I mean, this is when you start saying that we're going to go after federal law enforcement for, in fact, doing their jobs. Now, if they violate the law, when I say violate the law, I don't mean, well, if you're wearing a mask and we just passed a law that says you're not allowed to wear a mask, I'm sorry, no, you're not prosecuting somebody for that. No,
Yeah.
but if someone does something like take someone's life or something like that with unlawfully.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, amazing their flip-flop policies on masks. Isn't that weird, Craig? Yeah.
It's very weird. It's very weird. But I guess none of these agents are small children, so they don't mind them not wearing masks. They just want to mask the small children. Or maybe they just want to give them all the jab.
Well, that's it. Yeah, listen, we can mandate when we have masks and send our own Gestapo parties out hunting people down on the beach. I don't know, Craig. Sound familiar? Guy on the beach on a kayak gets pulled in and arrested because he's not wearing a mask alone on the beach. Doesn't sound familiar at all.
Yeah, I got to tell you, that was hilarious I still remember the video of watching the deputies sit out there on the thing and like wait for the guy to come back, right? The guy's out kayaking and there's like 5 sheriff's deputies waiting to arrest him.
Yeah.
Made absolutely no sense, but
nope, not at all. Not at all.
I'm just trying to figure out what makes these. I mean, there's a particular boldness that makes these DAs think that they can do this and get away with it. Once again, if I were the president, if I were running DOJ right now, I would be consulting my legal counsel, and I would be finding out, are these words in fact? Does this amount to an insurrection? Because they're already investigating mayors like Mayor Fry, and they're already investigating Tim Walz for potential insurrection. But I don't see how, or inciting insurrection. I don't see how stuff like this doesn't fall in that same vein.
Yeah, I listen. At a minimum, it's inciting. Whether you're going to call it an insurrection, you're going to call it a disturbance, you're going to call it an affray, whatever it happens to be. These ones they are facilitating it and should be should get some of those fancy bracelets that the police carry around.
Ooh, fancy schmancy bracelets.
Yeah.
I don't want some. I don't want any. No. They don't come in my size.
Yeah, and they don't have them fur lined either.
Well, I know you like yours furry, so. Anyway,
big wrists. Big wrists.
Right, but here's the sort of thing. Now this is an example of the sort of thing that when you do crap like this, that it winds up leading to. You had a case in Los Angeles where a group basically, and then once again, they're using their little signal apps and stuff like that. They sent out an alert basically noting that there were some ICE agents at a particular restaurant in LA. And they showed up to basically harass and attack them. And turns out they turned out to actually be air marshals.
Let me show you, but
you want to harass people, huh? No. How does it feel to be fucking harassed?
No.
So he did not deny he does work for. He did not deny it.
We're from TSA.
He did not. Look.
Fucking matter. How does it fucking feel?
He did not deny it. He did not deny it.
How does it fucking feel to be harassed?
Look.
How does it fucking feel?
That's you.
How does it feel?
Look. He said it. He said it was him. He said it was him.
How does it feel to be harassed?
He said it. He confirmed it is you. He confirmed. He confirmed. Look. They confirmed it. He confirmed. He did confirm. He works for Homeland Security. Lo confirmó. Yeah, we saw you. We saw you messed up. You came out with another guy, and I can show you the whole video.
This right here doesn't do shit for you guys. We know it's you.
You're on the video. I saw you yesterday. You're gonna tell me it's not me?
Must be an Asian guy, but
You don't remember me
No, it shows
yesterday?
you my
I was on the.
credentials.
I
and who
was on
else
there
has
with you.
credentials
Come
like
on.
that?
Wow,
you're lying.
No.
So basically, this clueless mob chased a couple of air marshals out of an LA restaurant. It says here, a dim-witted mob chased a trio of federal air marshals from Los Angeles restaurant Wednesday night after mistaking them for ICE agents, insisting they weren't who they said they were. The three marshals were dining at a Korean barbecue restaurant in Plaza Mexico in Linwood when the mob, spurred on by social media rumors, rushed to confront them, CBS reported. Quote, well, I'm not even going to get into what they said, but here's the mob out here that's out there harassing them. And so it's interesting that you see now the police are there, but the police weren't doing anything, or they didn't show up to do anything to try and help these folks. Because look at this. I mean, you see all the people mobbing the restaurant, and all the cops are just standing out here doing nothing. Now, Mike, what do you think would have happened if this guy had said, look, because here's what I would have done is I would have said, please get away from me. Please back up. I am in fear of my life. I am in fear of my health. You are attacking me. I feel as though you are attacking me, and I am in danger. Now,
Yeah, listen. First, the local police are there to, and I'm positive of their orders is to keep things from getting violent, and that's to stand aside. And if things get violent, that's when they get inside. Craig, listen, I would if I'm the head of the DOJ, I'm letting it known that to all my agents, they don't go anywhere without their their taser and their spray. So when this happens, you give the order, get back, and if they want to keep being ignorant, let them be ignorant at the end of some spray or at the end of some taser prongs. That's all there's to it. Oh, and by the way, when this happens, I'll tell you the best way, Craig. Liberal bitches love uppercuts, so just hand them out while you're there. Just give it to them. Just boom, 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 like rock'em sock'em robots. Walk down the road and just knock them all out.
well, but the purpose of the announcement is to make it clear this is how I feel right now, because
Yeah.
if you feel that you are in bodily danger, you have a right to defend yourself. Even in California, because they say California is very much, it's not a stand your ground state the way most other stand your ground states are, but you do not have a duty to retreat. If you are in danger, if you can credibly believe you are in danger, and I'm sorry, I've seen what these mobs do to people they think are agents, right?
Yeah.
And these guys did not seem to be any less energetic. If I need to defend myself and my body, and I need to use whatever force necessary, I'm going to do just that.
Yep, absolutely, and it's a different set of standards. Obviously to the federal law enforcement officers,
Right?
They don't have to articulate any of that. They can simply move through the crowd at will and execute their daily duties.
Well, but you saw from when James O'Keefe was doing his thing. They're not law enforcement officers at all. But as soon as, for example, if you go into Minneapolis, if you decide to go into Minneapolis and you rent an SUV, like especially like a Suburban or a Tahoe or anything like that, they're going to suspect you of being a Fed, and they are going to harass you. They're going to kick your car. They're just that.
Yep.
That's just how it is.
Yep.
And that's what they were doing. That's what they were doing to them. And they had doxed them. They sent them messages threatening them. I mean, we're talking. James O'Keefe is in the media, right? He's not a federal agent,
right?
All that having been said, I don't know why you would think it would be appropriate to send text messages saying, if you don't leave town in an hour, we're going to kill you.
Yeah. Nope, I got you. Yeah. Rock'em sock'em robots. Walk it through.
What these folks, I think, to a certain degree, fail to understand is that the more they keep this up, the more they are going to create a permission structure for others to basically be, I'll just say, overly aggressive in their self-defense.
Well, I agree. I agree. Listen, and we've had this conversation on here before. The difference between the conservative people, the alphas, the people that have been active their whole lives, and these liberals, you know, they don't fear what they're doing because they've never been punched in the face before.
Right. Well, as has been the case with, I always say that's one of the interesting things is both, uh, men especially growing up, at least in the era when we grew up, you learned about testing boundaries, right? And you learned that sometimes when you test the wrong boundary, you get punched in the face. And you learn, okay, maybe that's not the best idea. You learn that physical confrontation sounds good until you're actually in it. And then you realize just how violence averse we really are. And when I say violence averse, it's most of us don't like getting punched in the face. Don't handle it very well. In particular, though, girls don't go through that.
No. And listen, I'm not saying let's go out there and start hitting women or weak people or anything like that.
Right.
But I love watching the videos where they go after somebody, whether it's somebody that's there supporting the ICE or just a member that gets misidentified, and you see them go, okay, had enough, and they start walking through crowd, swinging jabs and hooks and uppercuts, and they knock 12 people out. It's just because these other people are like, come on, pop down, straight down, like it's
like
those are the best videos to watch.
Innocent. I wasn't doing anything. I'm sorry. Aren't you the one that said that words are violence?
That's right.
Look, if you don't get it both ways, right?
Yeah.
If you believe that words are violence, then violence is violence too. And
That's right.
I can apply violence to violence. I'm not saying I would do that. I'm definitely not sitting here telling you I would do that. But if I felt like I was in danger or someone else was in danger, I would use the appropriate level of force I deemed necessary to end that threat.
Yes. Yeah. Agreed.
And would be well within my rights to do so.
Yes. At least according to the federal law. Who knows what these local, state, and counties are going to make up.
Right. Well, that's also the reason why I avoid putting myself in situations like that. Because I honestly, I don't really want to find out. I don't.
No.
I enjoy my freedom. I don't want to have to pay an attorney hundreds of thousands of dollars just to prove a point.
Yeah, and I think it goes even a little step further for me. I enjoy my free time. I don't have time to deal with these idiots. I got other stuff I need to be doing.
There you go. Well, once again, I think we are in complete agreement. But what really gets me is when you have morons like this guy, Dick Durbin, who decided that he was going to use an AI-generated image in his presentation on the House floor. So this is how committed they are to disinformation, to making sure that we don't get the truth, that they're willing to resort to using fake images in order to push their narrative.
On the heels of that tragedy, another one is struck. This weekend, federal agents gunned down yet another American in Minneapolis, Alex Preddy, a 37-year-old ICU nurse at a VA hospital in Minneapolis. I'm going to show a photo of that scene, which is graphic, but I'm afraid is necessary to appreciate the horror of the moment. This photo shows the last second before the ICE agent killed Alex Preddy on the streets of Minneapolis. In his right hand is his camera, left hand holding the ground. No gun, obvious. No effort to resist, obvious. This was a moment when this man lost his life.
Yeah, I remember that, Craig. That's the headless ICE agent. Did you notice that one? The AI-generated headless ICE agent. Yeah.
And that's the point exactly. It was a headless ICE agent. The guy had something in his hand. I don't know if it was a phone or I don't know what it is. But the whole point of doing that was to sensationalize, number one. Number two, in incidents like this, whether it's George Floyd, whether it's Renee Good, when you have a dynamic situation, a lot of times not even a single video clip is enough to help you to fully understand what was going on in the moment and what actually happened, let alone a single still shot during that time, let alone an artificial a still shot created by artificial intelligence.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, there was a separate photo. I don't know if you have it or not, where I think it was MSNBC generated a photo of Preddy. And they found a regular, a pose of him, and they superimposed him in front of American flag, and then they changed it. They basically took the guy from a 5 to about a 9 to make him look like a.
I wouldn't say 9. I would say probably from a 4 to a 7.
Okay. All right. Well, you get them California standards, so that's
yes,
weird.
We do.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, they changed the shape of his face. They gave him a tan. They put his shoulders back. They fixed his teeth. They gave him more hair.
They add a little thickness to his hair. You're right. They added color to his skin. It was hilarious.
Yeah, they even ironed his clothes a little bit.
But dude, that's what they do. That's what the media does. I mean, think about it. Remember back with Trayvon Martin, right? Remember Trayvon, right? Yeah. Well, they kept showing the picture from when he was 12 years old, right? When he was a little kid, and no one showed at his communion. No one showed the picture of him as he was, which was a 16-year-old who actually outweighed the guy who he attacked.
Yeah, he was like a 16, 17-year-old thug in the photo, for real.
Yeah. Anyway, it's the length to which they are willing to go through to push a narrative is beyond
to lie. To lie.
Well, yeah, it's a lie. They're willing to push a lie, and they want to make you believe the lie. And that's well, we talked yesterday about the video that came out, and we have one of our parting shots actually highlights that, where they actually put out a video. There's someone. What was amazing to me about this is the BBC was the ones who actually released the video showing Pretty attacking, basically in the face of, spitting on ICE agents, kicking their SUV, knocking out a taillight. It creates a different narrative of who he is, and keep in mind, which basically means these agents had been dealing with him for almost 2 weeks. I mean, that was 11 days before.
He's just an innocent bystander coming to the defense of a woman. That's all. That's all he was.
That's all he was. That's all he was. Yeah, but we know better, don't we? And that goes back to pushing narratives. I wanted to share this with you because right now they're really trying to push a wedge between the president of the United States, the administration, and gun rights groups when it comes to some of the statements that were made by members of the administration, including the president himself. And yes, they said things that I totally disagree with. They said things like, well, you don't get to show up at a protest with a gun. You don't have a right to have a gun at a protest. That's totally unconstitutional, illegal. Anyway, so. And I just did a search, and I did a Google search, and I went into Good News, and I was like, look at all of these headlines, like where they're really trying to create a rift. Now, these are folks who don't care at all about what gun rights groups have to say. But CNN says gun rights groups decry administration's rhetoric on Alex Preddy's gun. NRA clashes with Trump over gun rights after Minnesota shooting. Trump puts Republicans in a tough spot on guns. These gun groups got the response to Alex Preddy's killing right. They said we got something right. Gun rights groups blast Trump over Minnesota response. Wisconsin gun rights advocates uneasy with Trump's comments over Preddy killing. And that's probably the fairest of all of the headlines that I read. And I guess, Mike, I've always said this. I've always said that Donald Trump sometimes says stupid things. Sometimes he said things that are easily taken a different way. This time, him and some of his folks said some stupid things. But I also learned this. I judge this administration not by what they say, but by what they do. And no one can doubt that what the Trump administration has done has been a net positive for those who are supporters of the Second Amendment.
Yeah, listen, absolutely, and we talked about it, this week, last week, whenever it was that, you're talking about comments that were made when information was presented to them that many of them that had not heard before. It was given to them incomplete, and they were given a scenario, and 12 people were asking questions at the same time, and they took a soundbite away. It's Craig. It took watching the video in whole and saying, okay, guess what? You don't show up to fight the police with a gun. That's all there was to it. And in many of those states, you cannot show up to a protest with a firearm, even if you're carrying it, legally outside of that protest. You got to understand the laws in each state are different. And in many of those states, you can't do that. You definitely cannot, I don't care where it is, show up to a law enforcement operation with a gun and start getting violent. That's just 100% illegal. As far as on the right, on the gun advocate side, some people felt for the same thing, Craig. They heard the president say one thing and they overreacted to it. And since then, I think, those of us that are not one-star brains have sat back and said, okay, we see what happened here. It was he made the wrong comment, given the wrong information, or made the right comment, given the wrong information, and now they're trying to hold him to it. It's just like take the guns and then give them due process. Yeah, if you watch that whole conversation, that's not what was said. It's just the same way.
It would help if they just came out and said, yeah, that's not what I meant.
Yeah. Well,
I misspoke.
Then they're on the wall. Then they're on the wall. So
I think you can come off the wall.
Yeah.
I think it's just, here's the thing. For the most part, the American people are very forgiving when you admit you made a mistake. The problem is politicians, and it's not unique to Donald Trump, not unique to Republicans. Politicians don't like admitting when they make mistakes. How about you just admit, okay. I said, in particular, if you said something wrong, that's the easiest thing to walk back.
Knowing this administration and knowing the big brains of Marco Rubio, Holman, Noam, those kind of people, JD, I guarantee you, Craig, it's been said, and we just haven't seen it been covered.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. But don't let the mainstream media, the people who have an agenda, don't let them drive a wedge between you and what and the administration, which is doing a good job.
Yeah.
They are.
Yep.
And like I said, are they perfect? No, I don't think anybody would say that they've been perfect. But they've been as close to perfect as any president in my lifetime. I can't think of one who's been closer.
Yep.
And I got a pretty lengthy lifetime.
He does. He's seen a lot of decades.
Yeah. Yeah. About as many as Mike.
Yeah. Well, mine are highway miles. Yours were road miles. City miles.
At least they were paved road miles.
Well, listen, I can't control how they're paving the desert. That's just, it's just the way it works.
There you go. All right, folks. So that now brings us to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces, one word, and get your Hog Holster on discount. All right, our first one here. Now, this is kind of in line with what Mike and I have been saying for a while in terms of those who decide that you're going to pass laws that are going to basically undermine that are going to undermine laws and create some of these situations. Well, maybe there needs to be a greater degree of accountability.
The easiest way to get rid of sanctuary policies is maybe we should start charging the politicians with crimes that vote for the sanctuary policies and make them accessories to whatever crimes are committed by illegal immigrants in those jurisdictions, because to me they're absolutely complicit in the crime, because it never should have happened in the first place but for those sanctuary policies, but for some politician voting thinking that that's okay.
Said it many times, right? We need to take away the qualified immunity of elected officials, and absolute immunity of elected officials, and give them qualified immunity the same way that our public servants have. As long as they don't break the law or violate the Constitution, good to go. But when you start illegally enacting these laws, you should be arrested.
There you go. There you go. And here is Senator
Oh,
Pocahontas.
by the way, that was the Attorney General of the state of Florida, James Utmeyer, on there. So saying that.
Go Florida. Go Florida.
Yep.
All right, this next one, this is Senator Pocahontas singing her praises of Mr. Alex Purdy as he in the background is exemplifying these wonderful traits.
Caring for people was at the core of who he was. He was incapable of causing harm. Alex carried patience, compassion, and calm as a steady light within him. Even at the very end, that light was there. I recognized his familiar stillness and signature calm composure.
He did get to see the light, Craig, as it flashed out of the barrel of the 9mm that he encountered.
Well, yeah, then there was that. Anyway, I'm just, once again, the narrative of him being this innocent guy who was just there as a bystander is now done. Gone.
Yeah.
Sorry, you don't get to do that anymore.
Nope.
And then finally, I have part 2 of the intellectual insults.
I'm looking for intelligent insults. I can see you are committed to your current level of understanding. I'm jealous of everyone that hasn't met you. Thank you for helping me. It was like doing it myself, only hard. I admire your courage to speak in the absence of knowledge. Your food for thought leaves Nothing lights up a room like your absence. When someone says, "Do you know who I am?" No, but I bet those who do are envious. I wish I didn't have common sense. You seem so... It's impossible to underestimate. I'm looking for intelligent insults. I can see you are committed to your current level of understanding. I'm jealous of everyone.
Okay, hold on. I keep pulling up the same one. Let me switch it out. There's a second one that I have, and for some reason I keep grabbing the same one. Unless I save the same one twice. Let's try this one. See if this one works.
I'm looking for intelligent insults. I can see you are committed to your current level of understanding.
No, I think I may have overwritten it and just named it under second one. There's another one where he's like, I want to get insults from people who make it sound like, you have to wait 3 minutes before you realize you've been insulted. So I will find that. I'm sorry, folks.
We'll do that one tomorrow.
There you go. There you go. That's what happens when you do stuff live.
Live, baby.
Live, baby. F it, we'll do it live. Anyway.
That's it.
All right, folks, that brings us to the end of our program. But before we go, we're going to do one more quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. They got AR barrels, rifle caliber, pistol caliber, any length that you desire, any caliber you want. They've got it available. Get on over there, hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting the good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. And if you want the best in field, your tactical gear, web gear, law enforcement, personal security, fire, EMS, whatever it may be, get your group together, get your agency together. Place an order at uscombatgear.com where you can get everything except the gun.
That's right, folks. Please take a moment and visit our sponsors. All you have to do is follow the links in the description to this program. Go there, check them out, spend some money with them. Tell them it was the guys over at the Rundown that sent you. And with that, we're going to go ahead and call it a day. We will be back tomorrow on Free for All Friday. Till then, y'all have fun. Stay safe, and we will see you mañana.